Alright, hello and Happy New Year. Let me just check all my stuff. Looks good for audio and mic. Excellent. Yes, good. Alright, and... So yes, welcome back to my Silent Max concept run, where the character can talk to animals and is mystical, and... oh, I think I put it mystic when it should be mystical. Let's update that. Alright, and otherwise tends to remain silent. Unlike my Karen run, which I actually have been informed I'm not mean enough in, so I gotta work on that. I'm so bad at being mean in games. But yes, no, Max just doesn't dislike people, he's just bad at talking to them. However, he feels an obligation to share his mystical insights, and also likes to share his talk to animals insights, because otherwise people won't understand what they're saying, and so, you know, nice for the animals. Oh, also, I don't remember if I already said, but in case I didn't, Happy New Year! I am continuing streaming business as usual. But yes, so... No recap, please. And then, now that we're in the game, I'm gonna pull up my little... So, for this set of runs... Oh, gosh, the game is not full screened. There we go. Just noticed. So yes, so that is my avatar for Max, made with the official Scarlet Hollow pickeroo. You can tell my, like, later version / canon versions of these runs, as they will generally have the profile picture. Alright, oh, that's not the one I wanted, and so the other thing I had been thinking that is at the beginning, so rather than do the recap, like, at the beginning of each new chapter, like, go over the major decisions I have made so far in this run. So yes, Max, he is mystical and he can talk to animals. Major decisions on Monday. Took some boiled peanuts from a stranger. Met Dustin, the opossum that lives in my dresser, and made him a nest. Watched Duke die in the woods and called the police. Met Stella's friend Kanika and her mother Sybil and learned about ditchlings, and crashed at Stella's. Tuesday major decisions. Woke up in Stella's guest room, let Tabitha kick Stella out of her living room to talk to me. Told Avery the truth about last night's encounter in the woods. Had tea with Avery at the diner. Walked with Stella to the mines. Spoke to one group of miners. Barely. Went after the teens without calling Tabitha. Because, I mean, that would have required talking to someone on the phone, and that sounds horrible. Went after Becca and Alexis at the cost of Rosalina's safety. So, that is the decisions that have been made so far. Time to start the dawn of day 3. You managed to survive a second night in the town of Scarlet Hollow. As you pull yourself out of bed, you can feel the soot and grime of the Shaw mines still stuck to your skin. I'm gonna take a shower. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. The water is hot and, surprisingly enough, clean. As steam fills your lungs and soot washes down the drain. Think about there's many options to think about, but I like going with the mystical option when it exists. Every minute feels like another thread holding this town together starts to unravel. Thoughts of doom consume you. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Time to start your day. Let's check on precious little Dustin. There are 2 of them now. Morning, Dustin. Who's your friend? Dustin. Her name Mom. She come to visit. Dustin Mom. I Dustin Mom. Gotta stay with Dustin until glass house empty. Thank you, human, for take care of my boy. Max. What happened to your glass house? Dustin Mom. Asshole squatter move in. Kick Dustin Mom out. Dustin. Squatter try to eat Mom. Squatter evil. Dustin Mom. Squatter may be asshole, but Squatter not evil. It just try to survive, just like all creature. Dustin still have much to learn. I actually like this, I'm gonna say it. Max. I had a rough night. Can you console me? Dustin. Was it because of Cat Monster? Dustin was scared too. Dustin Mom. Hiss! If Cat Monster want to eat Dustin, Cat Monster will have to go through Dustin Mom first. Dustin Mom will kill! Then Dustin and Mom eat like kings. This nature. Max. I've gotta go. Bye! Both opossums. K! That's that. Alright, let's take a glance out the window. You walk over to the window, fondly thinking about the pleasant view it provided you on Monday. It's the same view. Oh man, did I not look out the window on yesterday morning? I might not have. Because otherwise I think that would have been something about remembering the creepy thing from yesterday. Let's check the closet. Every time you see that doll, your heart skips a beat. It hasn't moved, has it? That's enough of this closet. You turn back to the guest room. Let's message the group chat. You pull out your phone and open up your group chat with Stella and Kanika. And by message, I mean although Max does have an easier time talking to people over text, when in doubt he will send images rather than verbalize. You send a photo of a pained old man. It'll probably be a bit before you get a response. You've done everything you wanted to up here. It's time to start your day. You enter the kitchen and to find your cousin in the midst of devouring a pint of banana chocolate chunk. She isn't alone. Frou-Frou glares at you from her usual spot on the counter as a red-headed woman busies herself trying to tidy as best she can. Frou-Frou. Vile woman, destroying the natural order of my kitchen. I'm still struggling between French and German for that accent. It's supposed to be French, but... out of practice. Tabitha's gaze swivels from the woman to you, her glare intensifying. Talk to animals. Max. Bonjour, Frou-Frou. Frou-Frou. Ugh, bonjour, sacre bleu. Do not think you can just bonjour me. Just because I slept at the foot of your bed last night, I still despise you. 3 humans at once. This is abhorrent. Your stink will linger here for hours. How am I to bear it? Tabitha. I see. Talking to my cat again. Are you sure you didn't get hit on the head last night? Red-headed woman. You don't say good morning to your pets? I always make sure to talk to my farm cats and alpaca like they're people. To me, they kind of are. Oh, there is so much talking, no, there's so many talking options. Max takes none of them, and instead stares in silence. You stare in silence at the 2 women in the kitchen. Tabitha. Good, you're up. Tabitha takes one last spoonful of ice cream, then discards the empty container, turning to you with her trademark scowl. Tabitha. Let's get going. I've got an errand to run in town, and every time I've left you here alone, something terrible's wound up happening, so you're coming with me. You have nothing to say here. Tabitha. Janie, lock up when you leave, please, and don't go rearranging anything. I'll know. As you're ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the 2 of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Janie. Oh, Max, before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. I'll be praying for Oscar and poor little Rosalina. They're such sweethearts. Couldn't have happened to nicer people. Alright, I think now I'm just ending up in Canadian for Janie, which, sure, why not? Oh, there's a mystical option. Max. Last night was an unavoidable tragedy, but I'm afraid there's more to come. Janie. Oh dear, that sounds just dreadful. Have you considered stopping by the church at some point this week? My husband's the pastor, and he's been going absolutely stir-crazy since we moved here, what with nobody really attending sermons. It'd probably do him a lot of good to talk you through your worries. You remain silent. Janie. Oh, take your time, of course. You're here all week after all. Just know that you can stop by the church at any time. The door is always open. You turn and leave. Janie. Be safe out there, you two. One advantage to the character of Max is it's just so easy to decide what I'm going to say. Because it's like, is there a mystic? Is there a mystical option? Then we take that. Is there a talk to animals option? Then we take that. If there's both, we make I will have make a call out depending on the circumstance. And in all other cases, if remain silent is an option, that is the option that we take. You and Tabitha walk through the doors of the estate and into her car. The ride to town is uneventful, your cousin unsurprisingly more focused on the road than on making conversation. Tabitha. All right, we're just popping into the general store for a few minutes. Oh, I want to change a setting because it's bothering me. I have it windowed, but I actually want it to be full screen. You and Tabitha turn as the door to the general store bursts open. A flustered Kanika exits, shouting behind her. Kanika. Fine, okay, keep coddling him. Keep letting him get away with stuff you would never have let me so much as think about. I am sick of carrying this family. Kanika storms off, the door slowly drifting shut behind her. Tabitha. Ugh, other people and their drama. If more people kept things to themselves, they'd be a lot happier. You say nothing in response. Tabitha. We're burning daylight. Come on already. The bells of the general store chime as you cross the threshold. The smells of old wood and steamy herbal tea flood your senses, making you feel instantly at home. Sybil. Good morning, you two. I hope you're doing well after last night's activities. Tabitha. Morning. Is the new blend ready? Sybil. Of course. Max, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will be just a minute. You remain silent. Sybil. Be civil while we're gone, Miles. Miles rolls his eyes. Sybil motions for Tabitha to follow, and they both disappear into the tea room, closing the door behind them with a tinkling of bells. You decide to quietly wait. It isn't long before your thoughts are interrupted by the tinkling of bells announcing another patron. Oh, excuse me. Wait, you're Max, aren't you? My name is Bo. I'm Duke's boy. It's a pleasure to meet you. The policeman told me you saw what happened to my daddy. You remain silent. Max really doesn't know what to say here. Bo. It's okay to be quiet. Those woods can be awful scary, especially if you're not used to them. And I know you did your best to help. Mama's pretty broken up about it. I'm trying to hold it together since I'm the man of the house now, but it ain't been easy. Me and him was supposed to bring Big Betty to the state fair this week, but now he's gone, and as of this morning, so is she. So, I suppose if I'm not going to the fair, I may as well make myself useful and get out in the woods to look for what's left of my daddy. You was there, right? Could you tell me where to look so I can try and find him? Yeah, Max has no inclination to do any of these explore options because they all involve a lot more conversation than he's comfortable with. However, this is one exception where I think Max would not just stay quiet. He'd be like, that's a reasonable thing to ask, and I feel an obligation to actually share that information, and I have to verbalize to do so, so. Max. He died on the northeast edge of town, off the Askina Trail. Bo. Thank you, Max. I appreciate you trying to help us out. I don't rest easy knowing he's out there somewhere, all by his lonesome. And please tell Miss Scarlet I'm sorry about her mama. Tabitha and Sybil are still in the tea room. Your phone buzzes. Stella. Oh my god, hey, I overslept. Still gotta make myself breakfast. If y'all want, you can swing by. Otherwise, meet at library and figure out plan? Kanika. I think I'm good. Just had a big fight, not really hungry. Gonna chill in my van for a while if you want to hang out, though. Otherwise, see you guys at library. You have plenty of time before dinner at Reese's house. like, the polite thing to do here is obviously to wait for Tabitha, but I think maybe it will not entirely occur to Max how rude it is to just wander off. And yeah, no, I think he's just like, look, alright, she said to wait for her, but I'm sure I got time, like, she's taking a while, I'm sure I have time to go stop by the diner real quick and come back. So he thinks. And then he'll get caught up, and then forget that he was supposed to go back and meet with Tabitha, and then whoops! The diner is busy, but its vibe is different than the past 2 days, its atmosphere muted and serious. The miners glance up at you with suspicion. Avery. Hey! Good to see you alive and well. You caught me at a good time. Break just started. I, heard about what happened last night. The diner has been buzzing all morning, so I've been hearing a lot of things. Seems like those fellas back there are getting pretty riled up. It might be a good idea to give them some privacy, especially considering, you know, who you're related to. How about we take some biscuits to go? There's a little garden next door, and I think you might like it. I like it, anyway. You remain silent, letting Avery take the reins. Avery. 2 biscuits to go, if you don't mind, Sal. The sour-faced cook nods and sets a box on the counter. Avery. See ya, Aunt Winnie. Winnie. Don't get my Avery into any trouble, Max. I've heard about what you've been getting up to, and if anything happens to them, you'll learn the true wrath of a southern woman. Avery. We'll be sticking around the neighborhood. Unless a sinkhole opens up, I can't imagine there's much trouble to get into. And this is the spot. It's a public garden I've been putting together. It was just an empty lot when I first moved here, but Winnie said it was okay for me to mess with it. So when I'm stuck in a rut with work or music, I come here and dig around in the dirt, just organizing the chaos for a little while. But I don't think we came here to talk about my side projects. I've been hearing some absolutely wild stuff about last night. I mean, I don't know how much you overheard in the diner, but it seems like the miners are planning a strike. Some of them have been saying that the old mine is haunted, too. That ghosts caused the collapse. I've heard about what happened to Oscar's kid, too. What really went down last night? Well, Max has established a pattern of telling Avery more, like, talking to Avery more than anyone else in town so far. Like, just in terms of, you know, sheer volume of words, because I also decided that Max was like, alright, someone asked me what happened last night, I'll talk about it, I guess. And so is now in the habit of telling Avery about things that happened. And we'll probably even put a little bit of effort into actually talking to Avery, because I've decided this is the romance path I want to follow for Max. And, like, Avery is just so open and inviting that even Max feels a little more comfortable around Avery than around most other people, which means that he is a little more comfortable talking to Avery, and that is my headcanon for why Max will verbalize things to Avery more than any other character. So step 1, fill Avery in on last night, because they're asking. You do your best to sound sane as you fill Avery in on all the details of what happened in the mines. The knocking, the ghostly figures of dust and light, the strange episode with the stone, and of course, the violent way it all ended. Avery. Holy shit. Between this and all the stuff that's happened in the woods, it's like this town personally has it in for you. Ah, there's a mystical option. Max. I could feel the chains of destiny drag me here. Destiny isn't usually fun. Avery. That's an outlook. I guess it depends on your definition of fun, though. I don't really like to admit it, but it's kind of exciting, isn't it? Things actually happening here? I just wish I weren't hearing about it secondhand. Seems like that's how I hear about a lot of things in this town. I guess I should be glad I haven't been in the middle of all that danger, but at the same time, I want to know what those ghost miners looked like, you know? I want to have seen those awful little things that live in the woods. Well, don't worry about that, Avery. You'll get your chance. But I also hope it quiets down. The past 2 days have probably been as much horror as this little town can handle. This is only the beginning, my friend. Only the beginning. Avery. Sorry, I must seem a little off my rocker. Yeah, I'm gonna be like, rush to reassure Avery, so we've already established that Max is not gonna just remain silent through this whole conversation. Max. No, I get it. Avery. I don't know if it's spending the past few years in a tiny town where nothing happens, or if I was born adventurous, but there is something so alluring about a dangerous situation. I guess I should technically hope I don't find myself in the middle of something horrific, but if I did, I don't think I'd hate it. A quiet breeze passes over you. Alright, I think Max is going to put some effort into having an actual conversation, but is not actually going to be good enough at it to say all of these things. So I will limit this to... Let's see. I mean, first of all, like, after all of this, Avery going in quite great depth about how they would really like to be around for supernatural nonsense. I think first thing Max is gonna do is invite them ghost hunting. Max. Want to come ghost hunting with us tonight? Me and Stella and Kanika are gonna ghost bust Oscar's house. I think around sundown. Avery. Ghost hunting? Hell yes! Count me in! I don't know if I believe in ghosts, but with the sort of freaky stuff Scarlet Hollow has been throwing at you this week, I guess I'll be prepared for anything. Thanks for thinking to invite me. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and Max will be thinking, of course, you just, it's the most obvious thing in the world to invite you after everything you were just saying. But in actuality, he's just gonna nod and then move on to a different topic. Let's talk about music, yes. Max, you mentioned music when we first got here. Are you a musician? Avery. Yeah, I've got a SoundCloud and everything. It's pretty much what I want to do with the rest of my life, whether it winds up being profitable or not. Max, what do you play? Avery. Synths. I've got 3 of them, and I'd have more, but I promised myself I'd only add to the collection when I'd mastered the ones I already have. Excuse me. I started with bass guitar, though. Don't ask me why, the bass just called to me. Max, do you ever, jam with the locals? Play folk music with them? And again, because I have such an elaborate roleplay headcanon for Max, I try to read his lines a little awkwardly, especially when he's talking this much. Avery. For sure! Every month the musicians in town get together for a song circle. It's one of my regular social events. I bring my bass and strum along. Julius is there with his banjo, and even though it's a bunch of older country folks, they seem genuinely happy to see me there. I think they're thrilled that a young person is helping to carry on these traditions. I guess I'm like insurance that these songs and the way they play them aren't just going to vanish. Alright, and that was Max biding his time to work up the nerve to say I'd love to hear your stuff sometime. Max, I'd love to hear your stuff sometime. Avery. Oh, thanks. I'll send you the link. But you'll hear some at the party this Saturday if you swing by. Also, don't worry if it's not your kind of thing. I don't expect everyone I know to vibe with it, so no pressure. Return. Let's see. I want to say is everything in this garden yours, but I honestly think it's probably more in character for Max to kind of somewhat awkwardly be like, so... Max. So, you like plants? Avery. Couldn't you tell? Pulling the jacket aside to show off the plant print shirt. Avery. You should see my place. It's practically a jungle. I've got pothos, monstera, pilea, a few varieties of fern, and peperomias. I'll spare you the full roster. It'd take all day. Man, I like, this is, you know, I'll be honest, of the player, this is why I like Avery so much, because I am also a plant person. Like, I don't usually have, my background is usually obscured, so you can't see all the plants in my background, but like, for example, this is one of my favorites, and it's the one that is right behind me and easiest to pick up and show off. It is my nerve plant. One of the leaves is a little... yeah, it's doing pretty well overall. And just looking around I don't really like monstera, which is like, I know I'm super in the minority on that amongst plant people, but like, I also have a pothos, and like, I have some random, in some cases, odd plants, but I have a sundew, and it's very cool, and I have a jade plant, and yeah. So I too, in real life, am a plant person. Alright. Let's go with Max. Do you have a favorite? Avery. It'd have to be my dragon scale alocasia. I'll admit it's partly because it's called dragon scale, like it's some plant from a fantasy world. It's also a cutting from one of my online plant friends. Life got pretty busy, so we don't talk much anymore, but every time I look at the plant, it reminds me that someone cared enough to package it up and send it to me. Plus, the leaves look like a big puffy cartoons. Excellent quality of the plant. If I had to pick a favorite of my plants, it would probably be my sundew, because I think carnivorous plants are neat. And sundews are, like, awfully pretty. Like, a lot of carnivorous plants look creepy, but, like, sundew, like, it's called that because the little leaves have these little bits, like, little, what look like little dewdrops on the end, which, of course, are, like, you know, plant-consuming and trapping little balls of slime, but, you know. They look pretty. And they eat flies that hang out in my room, and it's nice. I'm just checking to see. It's probably okay. I was trying to see. That one is in a self-watering pot and has a little gauge, and I was checking the gauge to see if I should go water it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by my real-life plants. Let me go back to the game. Let's do this one. This is going to take a real effort on Max's part to work up the nerve to say, but he's gonna do it. Max, for, say, a gift? Any plants I should avoid? Avery, a gift? You don't have to go through all that trouble. I should probably get you something. You're the one who's in town because of a family tragedy. But just in case it's handy, the only plant that never did it for me is succulents. I need something that reminds me it's a living thing and not a fancy kind of rock that I water every now and then. Don't tell anyone I said that. Folks in town keep getting me succulents as gifts, and I don't want them to think I don't appreciate the gesture. Excuse me. I will tell you, in real life, the streamer, response to that is, how dare you say that about succulents, they are perfect babies. But I think Max is probably not that invested. And is not going to comment. And then is going to enjoy a quiet moment, because that is it. We have hit Max's... sorry, I don't mean to make this pun, but Max's max output of talking. Like, even with people he likes and is more comfortable with, and maybe even wants to get to know better. He has an upper limit before conversation just is not a thing he can keep going with. I keep pulling my shirt and then it's like uneven, the collar's uneven and it's bothering me, and my video is mirrored, so if you're wondering why I keep pulling at my collar, it's because I want it to be like even, but I just do that. You know, probably part of the problem is that, like, I keep looking over this way and then it's like, you know, I'm gonna ignore it, it's fine, I'm getting... you know what, I put the, I was like, I'm getting very distracted again. And it's like, you know, that's also why I put the neurodivergent tag up so people will be a little more expecting that kind of thing in my streams. Alright, sorry about that. You let the breeze wash over you as you enjoy a quiet moment in Avery's garden. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Stella. Almost forgot, it's Mayor Jimmy Day! Good excuse to head over to the library. We should check in with Oscar. Meet y'all there in half an hour. Kanika. I totally blanked on that. Been having a weird foggy morning. Frowny face. Wild that they're still doing the Mayor Jimmy thing even after last night. Do you think news has spread yet? But yeah, we should go see Oscar. See y'all soon. Avery. That's a lot of texts. Max. It's Mayor Jimmy Day? Avery. Oh, it's Mayor Jimmy Day. Hell yeah, he's one of the best parts of living here, honestly. I've still got a little bit of time to kill before my shift starts back up, and I'm sure Aunt Winnie won't mind. Let's get over there before there's too much of a crowd. You and Avery make your way to the library. It's busier than usual. A small crowd has already formed in the corner of the main foyer. Stella. Oh, hey Max! And Avery, too! Gretchen. A human who smells at breakfast, but I see no bacon, no biscuits. How dare my senses be tantalized so, and all for a lie! Avery. Hey, can't believe I'd almost forgotten about Mayor Jimmy Day. Kanika. Surprised to see you here, Max. I half expected you to have finally skipped town. Stella. Yes, the whole gang's here. I've been waiting to introduce Max to the mayor for, like, the entire time I've known him. She says, having known Max for, like, 2 days. Kanika. It'll be worth it. Trust us. Stella. Alright, shall we? He's a dog. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and his fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. And unless you're mistaken, the serious man by his side is Deputy Franklin, one of the policemen you spoke to following your encounter in the woods on Monday. The mayor's little nose starts twitching as you approach. His doggy eyes shine with a curious intensity. The mayor. What have you got? You've got something. Something wet and nutty. Finally, an excuse to get rid of the peanuts. Also, incidentally, this is a unique scene and an achievement. So, we are going to offer him a campaign contribution. You hold out your now slightly rancid bag of boiled peanuts. The mayor's nose twitches eagerly at their strong odor, and then he's on them in a flash, ripping through the plastic and devouring the soft-shelled legumes. Security goon. Drop it, sir. Drop it. His security detail tries to tear him away, but it is too late. The peanuts are already eaten. Also, just for anyone who has not gotten a chance to have this visual. The mayor. Thank you for the generous campaign donation. Security goon. You better hope those nuts settle well. If the mayor gets any tummy trouble after eating your disgusting pocket peanuts, there'll be hell to pay. Gretchen. Why, I never. Now you see what I mean. Not so much as begging before he dove right for the snacks. I've smelled those peanuts on you since day one, and you never saw me become such an animal over them. The mayor. Good morning, citizen. I don't believe we've met. He holds out his paw as if to shake your hand. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Gretchen said, yeah, no. If Max is gonna say anything here, it's going to be to report Gretchen, like, to be like, hey, I trust Gretchen, and she says that you're shady. Max. Gretchen says you're a lowlife. Security goon. Watch it. The mayor. Ah, Miss Gretchen, what must I do to earn your loyalty? Gretchen. I'll settle for nothing less than you stepping down from office. Alright, and you know what? Max is going to earnestly make an appeal to the mayor because he knows the mayor can understand him. Max. Mr. Mayor, there's something very serious going on in town. We need your help. Murmurs stir in the crowd behind you as you relay the danger to the mayor. The mayor. Of course, the pet disappearances. I've been made aware of the situation. But what do you expect me to do about it? It's autumn, that's tourist season in Scarlet Hollow. I can't turn away the lifeblood of this town, not with the mine faltering the way it is. There was a mine collapse last night. We don't need any more news of disaster coming out of Scarlet Hollow. Do you understand? Yeah. No, Max is gonna be like, excuse you, Mr. Mayor. Because he's way more comfortable talking to animals than he is talking to people, and he doesn't always really stop to think about whether people are hearing him. And by doesn't stop to think, I mean pretty much doesn't worry about it at all. People will believe him or they won't, and he's just decided not to fuss about it. Max. So you know there are monsters laying eggs in the local animals, and you're just going to let it happen? Avery. Am I missing something here? Kanika. I'm as lost as you are. Avery. Alright, well, it looks like Max is an animal whisperer. I'm down with that. The mayor. Laying eggs? Don't be ridiculous. I'm sure that whatever is causing these disappearances is just a bear or a mountain lion. We've all smelled them up in those hills. They'll move on soon enough. This is a southern town. Plenty of people are armed around these parts. They'll take care of the problem before it gets out of hand. In the meantime, it's best not to cause a panic. I'm a pillar of this community. It's my job to project strength to my constituents. Anyway, also, I just want to actually pause to say, like, I love that. I actually don't think that that's I've ever had, like, people not realize the talk to animals thing about Max for so long that Avery has said that. And I'm like, I like that Avery's the one to be like, Max is an animal whisperer. That's cool. It works well for me within the wanting to follow the Avery romance path. Hey, don't mind me just stretching a little bit. Gretchen. I've heard just about enough from you, Jimmy. Look at you, putting on a show in front of your adoring fans while the dogs of this town are snatched up by monsters in the woods, hoping the humans will clean it all up for you. When are you finally gonna do something meaningful for the hairier citizens of Scarlet Hollow? The mayor. Now, Miss Gretchen, there's no need. Gretchen. Scraps never would have let those things prowl the woods for so long. And yet you sit back waiting for the humans to notice and letting more innocent dogs suffer. You know, I almost lost my life to those things the other night, and my goodness, haven't you heard about poor Duke? The mayor. Now, Gretchen, a lot of those were old dogs. It's fair of me to assume they simply went to the big farm upstate. Gretchen. Don't you dare talk to me about old dogs! Max. She's got a good point, Mr. Mayor. Gretchen. You're damn right I do. Scraps would have been out in those woods at the first sign of trouble, tearing out the throats of any creature who dared threaten the dogs of Scarlet Hollow. Yet here he is, posing for the little rectangles like nothing is wrong in this town. Gretchen squirms in Stella's arms, straining to get at Mayor Jimmy. Stella. Hey, whoa, Gretchen. Calm down, old girl. You're gonna pull a muscle. The mayor. Mr. Franklin, I think now's a good time to dispose of this riffraff. I gotta say, the fact that Deputy Franklin responds to that immediately with escorting people out almost makes me wonder if he can also understand animals. But it also would not be an unreasonable time for him to have decided of his own volition to shoo us all along. Security goon. Miss Richmond, I'm going to have to ask you and your dog to step away from the mayor. Stella. I should have known better. These two have never been able to get along. Max, you've got to fill me in their feud later. I've always been curious why Gretchen gets so fussy near Mayor Jimmy. Stella walks off, still struggling to hold Gretchen as she shouts insults back at Jimmy. Gretchen. Ingrate! Ne'er-do-well! You dog! Kanika and Avery are quick to follow. And follow them I also shall. It looks like everyone else is already talking to Oscar in the next room. before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Mystical. It's hard to put a finger on it, but something compels you to dislike him. Strange man. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Max? Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. Yeah, no. Max is like, total new stranger person. I am not going to verbalize, except for talk to animals. Because Max is still pretty annoyed about the mayor. Max. The mayor is a huckster and a fraud. The bastard cares more about tourism than the fate of the town. The pastor goes quiet for a second, his face suddenly white as a sheet. The smile fades from his face as he stares at you intently, studying your expression. Pastor Daniel. You too? He glances to either side before continuing. I thought I was the only one. Please, come visit me at the church soon. Seems like we might have a lot to talk about. He hurries off, suddenly quiet and serious. Nothing to do now but catch up with your companions. Stella. Oh my god. Kanika. Poor Rosalina. I can't even imagine how scary this has been for her. Oscar. She seems in high spirits right now, but they've got her on some pretty strong pain medication, so I'm not sure how she's going to feel when that wears off. Stella. And it was the whole foot? Oscar. Yeah, it's bad, but she's alive. We'll both be able to move on from this. We just have to get through the tough parts first. Yeah, I mean, there is a certain degree to which that would not be unreasonable for Max to say, but also I think this is sufficiently overwhelming, and he probably feels a little guilty about it, that he's just like, Avery. It's alright, man. Just take a deep breath. She's gonna be okay. Kanika. Oscar. I'm sorry to cut our conversation short, but I'd better get going. I was only supposed to come back to pick up a few things, but then the hospital called and said there'd been some big bus accident on the highway and they need the beds, so I have to come pick her up. Even though our house is still haunted and the only place she can lie down until then is the dirty back room that drove her away in the first place, and Mayor Jimmy Day is happening. Sorry. I'm just a little overwhelmed. Kanika. It's okay, Oscar. We're here to help. Stella. Yeah, we're gonna get that ghost. Avery. If you'd like, we could cleanse your house while you go pick her up. Seems like it would be a good idea to do while the sun is up anyway, right? Oscar. If only, but it doesn't come out during the day. So any cleansing attempts are going to have to wait until nightfall. I'm still not even sure we can get rid of it at all. I think I'd have to see for myself that it was gone. It managed to trick me a couple of times, and I can't handle any more surprises right now. Stella. I've got every ghost hunting device known to man. You're in good hands, Oscar. You remain silent. Oscar. I'm heading out. It should be dark by the time we get back, so I suppose I'll see you all then. Oscar hurries off, car keys jingling as he jogs out to the door. Stella. Let's head up to Reese's. Maybe we can get him to come ghost hunting with us. Kanika. Oh no, you're not going to try and get Dr. Kelly to let him leave the house, are you? She'll kick us out for even asking. I wonder if he even knows what happened last night. I don't know how disconnected he is from the news around town. Jeez, should we tell him? Avery. It's always better to know about stuff like this. Withholding information and trying to keep people in the dark on purpose doesn't really help anyone. That's my opinion, at least. Anyway, y'all have fun at Dr. Kelly's place. Catch you tonight in the haunted house. Stella. See ya, Avery. Anyway, shall we? Time to go. Yes. Let's do the talk to animals explorer here. Max. So, about the mayor. Stella. Right, you seemed to have some choice words for hhim. Wow, I don't think I will ever play a character who will be like, actually, you know what? Maybe Karen would. But then again, she also doesn't want to admit to people that she can talk to animals, so. Yeah, I think this fits with Max usually telling people about his talk to animal stuff because he's considering himself a mouthpiece for the animals. Max, you should vote for Scraps next election. That's who Gretchen supports. Stella, the Stray? Love that guy. He just seemed a little less mayoral than Jimmy. But even if he's got Gretchen's support. Kanika, I've always liked Scraps. Gretchen's got good taste. Stella, alright, shall we head out? The three of you leave the library for an early dinner at Reese's. You once again find yourself in front of Reese's house. A cold hesitation grips you as the building looms over the hilltop. Though it's only early afternoon, it feels much later, the sun already sinking behind the tall mountains that surround Scarlet Hall. Kanika, we're a little early. What if Dr. Kelly yells at us? Stella, there's no such thing as early when you're hanging out with friends. That's just extra time you get to spend together. Kanika, okay, but what if she yells at us? It's too late. The door swings open. Reese, hey. Stella, Reese! Kanika, oh my god, dude, it's been ages. Reese, you must be Max, right? I've heard a lot about you. Stella's been relentless about making sure I got all the Max updates. Gretchen, my goodness gracious, there's something that smells terribly off about that boy. Get away from my Stella, you fiend! Gretchen starts yelping at Reese, straining against Stella's grip as she tries to get between them. Dr. Kelly, are they here already? I knew you'd show up early, Stella, and you brought the dog. Great. Stella, yeah, I thought she might cheer Reese up. I don't know what's gotten into her all of a sudden. Dr. Kelly, the dog stays outside. Stella, but... Kanika, that's okay, Stella. We can let her chill in my van for a bit. I'll run the AC and leave her some treats. You know I always have some of those easy-chew dog turkeys stashed away. Gretchen, the gall! The gumption! This is a violation of my rights! Stella, but we go everywhere together. Dr. Kelly, do you want to come in or not? Kanika nervously tugs Stella away towards her van. Gretchen, you keep her safe from that monster, Max, you hear? You don't let a feather of harm fall on my dear Stella. My darling Stella. Dr. Kelly, well, what about you, Max? Are you coming in? Okay, on the one hand, I usually take all talk to animal and mystic options that come up, but, like, I think Max would rather wait and find out more before just jumping out with the accusations. You whistle as you wait for Stella and Kanika to come back from the van. I'm sorry, it was the only silent option. Stella, okay, we're back. Dr. Kelly, great, let's get this over with. The house feels cold. Not only is there an odd chill in the air, but the building itself feels too sterile, uncomfortably tidy to the point where you're nervous to touch anything. If it weren't for the aroma of store-bought dinner rolls baking in the oven and the unsettling artwork hanging on the walls, you'd be half convinced you'd wandered into a real estate showing. Stella, so, how can I lend a hand? Dr. Kelly, by sitting down at the table and not puttering around in my kitchen. I made sure everything was done well in advance, so the only thing left are the dinner rolls, which shouldn't be long. Then we can have a quick dinner and you can leave my house and go on about your business. Kanika, but I was kind of hoping to see Reese's new art. Reese, we still have time right now, right? Dr. Kelly, you aren't seriously considering subjecting your friends to your disaster of a room, are you? Reese, it's not that bad. You can still see the floor. Dr. Kelly raises a single questioning eyebrow. Stella, I don't mind a little mess. Kanika, yeah, I doubt it could be any worse than the way I keep my room. Dr. Kelly. Yes, okay, fine. As long as you stay out of the kitchen, I don't care what you get up to. Reese. Cool, we'll just be downstairs. Stella. You won't even know we're here. You make your way towards the basement stairs. The basement is what you might expect out of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. Discarded canvases line its edges, while trash and sketches leak out from their piles in the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Kanika. Your mom is so scary. Reese. She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourselves comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. Haven't been cleaning much. Alright, so I'm going to headcanon a little bit here. It's not established by the game, but there is no way Max is going to drive this conversation. So he's not going to say any of this stuff. Maybe he'll comment on the art, but I would like to headcanon that even though Max isn't saying much, that there is some conversation happening between Kanika and Stella and Reese, even without Max driving it, because by now they should not expect that Max would drive a conversation. So the one thing I think that Max will work up the nerve to mention is the art. Max. Your art. Mystical. Each piece exudes a sickening miasma. It's like you can feel something squirming behind the paint, the brushstrokes acting as steel bars, trapping some anguished being within. Oh, okay, here's a mystical option. That works. That makes sense why Max would... Alright, I like that retroactively makes sense for why Max would have commented on it at all. Max. I feel the emotions you put into these. They're writhing just behind the paint, radiating pain and anguish. Reese. I know what you mean. I feel it too. When I'm working on them, it's like I'm channeling whatever's plaguing me into the paint, and when they're done, I feel like I've been emptied out, and all the vile things inside of me have been sealed away in the canvas. That's why I make so many of them. Sometimes when I return to a piece, it's almost like I'm offering an invitation for those feelings to slither back under my skin. There's some pieces I can't even look at. I hide them until I forget they exist. I'd rather not let those particular feelings back in. Kanika. Sounds kind of like therapy? That seems healthy, probably? Stella. Yeah, art therapy. Sounds like it does you good. Being empty must be better than being full of bad thoughts, right? Reese. I think so. It works for me, at least. Alright, so headcanoning that a bunch more conversation happens here that Max just quietly listens to as he remains silent. Reese's mom shouts from the kitchen. Dr. Kelly. Dinner's on the table. Sorry, that was weird. I don't like how I read that. Dinner's on the table. Something like that. I don't know. I didn't read it well, but that we can ignore that. Reese. Guess that's it for catching up. Dr. Kelly. Make sure you all wash your hands. With soap. I don't want anyone sharing their germs at the dinner table. Stella. Sure thing, Doc. No use saying anything here. It's probably best to just silently comply. Yep, that's certainly Max's philosophy. You make your way towards the sink, but are stopped in your tracks by the pull of an odd door at the end of the hallway. It feels out of place, like you've accidentally wandered into a different, older house. But more than that, you feel something radiating out from behind it. Something dark and cold. Mystical. You felt this before, in the dusty tunnels you so narrowly escaped last night. An oppressive hum, like a muted scream heard through layers of rock, trying to draw you towards it. You feel lightheaded. You are compelled to approach the door, drawn in as if hypnotized. Mystical. Something wants you to find it. Now, there are a million open doors. But there is one change that they made to Mystical in a recent update, for anyone who might not have seen it yet. There's a mystical option amongst all of this. And that's the one we're gonna take. You do your best to snap yourself out of it, turning into the bathroom and dutifully washing your hands before joining your companions at the table. Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense, his shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes you all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. And see, this works with my headcanon. Stella is nervously talkative, so clearly she asks a bunch of the questions that I would otherwise have my character ask. She sits opposite you at the far head of the table, her features silhouetted against the light of the setting sun in the window behind her. Dr. Kelly. Pills. She slides a few tablets towards Reese. He obediently swallows them. Stella. This is excellent, Dr. Kelly. Is the pasta sauce homemade? Dr. Kelly. No, it's from a jar. I've worked too many hours to make my own pasta sauce. Stella. Well, you have excellent taste in brands. And if you ever want any tips on easy home-cooked pasta sauces, you know I... Dr. Kelly. No thanks, Stella. I have the internet if I need recipes. Kanika. Thanks again for having us, Dr. Kelly. We really appreciate it. You remain silent, quietly picking at store-bought spaghetti and dinner rolls. Reese. So, I was wondering if we could maybe watch a movie sometime this week, while Max is still in town. Dr. Kelly. We'll have to see how you're feeling. Reese. I can handle a movie, Doc. Stella. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. I'm sure he'll be okay. Dr. Kelly. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. Reese. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day and I'm not getting better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in a basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask for permission from my mom just to have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Dr. Kelly. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix... Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Stella. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. Dr. Kelly. Damn it! I knew it! I knew this would be too much. Everyone get out of my house. Please, just leave us alone. Stop trying to interfere with his life. All it does is hurt him more. Kanika. But we can't just leave him like this. Stella. Now is when he needs friends the most. Dr. Kelly. No, now is when he needs me the most. I am his doctor and his mother. I know you care about him. I know that, and he knows it too. But all any of you would do is get in the way. So just leave, please. You quietly turn around and walk off. Stella. We'll be back, Reese! Kanika. I hope you feel better soon. Dr. Kelly shuts the door in your faces. The click of a lock signals the end of your dinner at Reese's. There's a mystical option. Max. The door to the clinic felt like it had the same pull on me as the carving in the miles. Stella. Do you think something's back there? Yeah, I feel like this still dovetails on the mystical. Max. Another one of those carvings is somewhere in there. I'm certain of it. Kanika. Okay, that'd be really weird. Stella. If we find it, do you think you'd get another vision? I'm just spitballing here, but I wonder if what that carving showed you last night is related to the ditchlings. Kanika. You're not suggesting we go poking around in there, are you? Stella. Of course I am. Maybe tomorrow. Kanika. I am not breaking into Dr. Kelly's clinic based on a bad vibe Max got. Max. Do you think Reese might have a supernatural affliction? Stella. Like, related to what you felt in there? If he did, why wouldn't Dr. Kelly have it? Kanika. It makes more sense if he just has a genetic condition, assuming there isn't any foul play. Stella. Foul play? Kanika. The whole thing is just fishy. And after tonight, I feel like my fear of Dr. Kelly is a lot more justified than I thought. Stella. She's just overprotective. I'm sure that's all that's going on. And she has every right to be. I mean, the poor guy took 2 bites of food and got sick immediately. I can't imagine what that's like for both of them to go through. Kanika. Look, I'm just saying maybe there's more to their dynamic than just him being sick. But it's not like there's much we can do about it right now. Stella. We could probably go back and forth on this for a while. Let's grab Gretchen and get going. The sun is setting and we wouldn't want to miss a second of ghost action. Stella hurries off down the hill, almost as if to run away from what just happened. You and Kanika follow her down the slowly darkening street. Alright, I'm going to take a short break here because it feels like a good, somewhat mid-chapter point, but I do want to comment, so I've said this before, I think, but, so I think it's obvious as I play, I've played Scarlet Hollow a million times by now. I'd hope nobody is, watching me play Chapter 3 who hasn't already seen or played Chapters 1 and 2, but obviously spoilers up through Chapter 3, but I do try and make a point of not spoiling future chapters when I'm doing playthroughs, even though I've done a million at this point. It's no one needs to worry about not spoiling me, but I try to be okay, if in case you just choose one of my runs to watch and you're watching them in order, I've been trying to remember to not be too spoilery about future chapters. But oh boy, does that whole scene with at Reese's house make me want to talk about Chapter 4. But like I said, I'll hold off for now. So yes, and also like I said, I think I'm going to keep going until there's background music again, because I don't like leaving the be right back screen on total silence if I can help it. Lit by the orange hues of the setting sun, the library feels different. What was once a quaint building in a small town now stands as an imposing structure, its walls holding something that stares back at you with menace. Maybe Stella is right. Maybe ghosts aren't real, and the rest of tonight is going to be a pleasant break from the events of the past few days. Mystical. But you know that's not the case. There's something old and powerful in there, and you can feel it stir as the sun sets and daylight fades away. Enter the library. Just as its exterior was intimidating in the setting sun, the inside of the library is dark, its shadows deep and foreboding. The meet and greet with the mayor ended quite some time ago, and the throngs of visitors took whatever joy was in this place with them as they left. Stella. Hey, Oscar! Are you back yet? Kanika. Shh, you can't yell in a library. It's against the rules. Stella. It's after hours. Rules only apply before 5 p.m. Now it's our domain. Oscar. Hey, you're just in time. Rosalina's situated in the back room. Alexis is going to keep her company while we hopefully get this all sorted out. I'd love for her to be able to sleep in her own bed tonight. Kanika. How is she doing? Oscar. She's not quite as chipper as she was when she was on stronger meds, but she's still doing surprisingly well. Alexis has been by her side nonstop. She's been a really good friend. Rosalina and I are both lucky to have her right now. Stella. I'm glad she's back home at least, and we'll be able to get her back into her real home in no time. I've come fully loaded. Got my EMF reader, temperature gauge, spirit box, infrared camera, UV light, video cameras, salt, flashlights for everybody in case the ghost messes with the electricity, parabolic microphone, Sharpies and paper for automatic writing, matches and candles for rituals. Gretchen. And you've got your spectre-sniffing compatriot at your side too. This nose can sniff out any ne'er-do-well we might find, whether spirit or scoundrel. Stella. Oh, and a Ouija board. I know they're toys, but you never know what might come in handy. Kanika. Wow, this is a lot of ghost hunting stuff for something that was so last minute. Do you just have this stuff ready to go in a bug-out bag or something? Stella. Of course I do. I actually stashed a couple bags here overnight after I got back from the mines. Oscar. Excuse me? Stella. I wasn't about to carry everything around all day. This way we can go in light and pop out to grab more stuff once things start getting spooky. I may never have found any compelling evidence of ghosts, but that's not for lack of trying. And after last night, I am more than ready to try again. Avery. Hey, hope I'm not too late. Have I missed any creepy paranormal stuff? Stella. Avery, glad you could make it. The more pairs of hands we have, the more equipment we can carry. Avery. Sure thing. Always happy to offer a hand or two. Kanika. Glad there will be someone else with a level head in there tonight. Avery. Whoa, is that an EMF reader? I've never seen one in person. Look at all this stuff. Spirit box, parabolic microphone. Y'all really covered all your bases. Kanika. Maybe I spoke too soon. Avery. You know me, Kanika. I'm as level-headed as they come. I'm just not ready to rule out weird paranormal stuff. When people tell me they saw a ghost, who am I to say they didn't? I mean, just last night, y'all apparently saw some truly unexplainable stuff, so anything seems possible right now. Max. Mystical option, of course? There's something back there. I can feel it. Stella. Really? This is so exciting! I can't wait to finally see a ghost! Kanika. Yeah, exciting's a word. Avery. As someone here for the thrill of being terrified, it's the word I'm here for. Oscar. We'll see how you two feel about that once things get started. Zane. Yo, don't rush up ghost busting without Zane. No way was I going to forget your promise, Stella. Stella. Zane, glad you could make it. Zane. I was confronted with my own mortality for the first time yesterday, so I'm desperate for some answers about the afterlife to ease my troubled mind. Now let's go mess with some ghosts. Gretchen. My oh my, this certainly is a lot of humans for one little old ghost hunt. I do hope this means my dear Stella will be safe this evening, and that whatever foul creatures lurk in the shadows choose to prey on someone else. That would be nice, Gretchen. That would have been nice. Oscar. I hope my house is big enough for 6 ghost hunters at once. If this is everyone, we can go ahead and get started. It's through the back. Follow me. Pixel. Hey, human! Kick ghost ass, okay? I missed my special tree. You and your companions grab some equipment from one of Stella's carefully stashed bug-out bags before heading towards the junction connecting Oscar's house and the library. Alright, now I'm gonna take a break. I mean, I know that music started up well before then, I just wanted to feel like there was a good scene transition. Alright, so I will be back shortly. I do plan to go through the entire chapter today, so we've got probably at least another good hour of stream to go, so be back soon! Oh, hello, Johnny. Nice to see you. I am returned with a mug of hot cocoa in a wicked show merchandise mug. Like you do. Alright, so we're about to go into the second half of chapter 3. Alright, Oscar.
Looks like the sun is almost set. This is when stuff usually starts to kick off. I haven't been back inside for about a week, so I have no idea what to expect.
Rosalina. Hey! You're not doing this without me. If there is a ghost, I want to see it with my own eyes. Alexis. Sorry, Mr. Gutierrez. I tried to stop her, but she was really convincing. Oh, hi Zane, what's up? Zane. Yo.
Oscar. Rosalina!
You decided it's best to let Oscar handle this. Rosalina. I've done enough resting, and it's not like hobbling around in the library is any different than hobbling around our house. I miss being there. I miss feeling home. Gretchen. Let the pup come. It's best to give her the chance to face her obstacles head on. Take it from an old soul like me. Oscar.
You shouldn't be hobbling around at all. Just take it easy until you're more healed.
Rosalina. I've got to learn to walk around eventually. Might as well start while I'm still on pain meds. And our house is one story. It's not like I'm climbing Mount Everest. Oscar sighs.
Oscar. The doctors did say I should encourage you to practice walking. Okay, you can come along, but if you get tired or if it starts to hurt, you let me know right away.
Rosalina. Thanks, Dad. Now let's get our house back. You all cross over the threshold and enter Oscar's living room. Family photos line the walls, and stacks of books sit comfortably on wooden furniture. Oh, so we were talking, I was talking with Tapao and Pukara about how this painting that fell off the wall, it's a unicorn, and it's possibly based on a specific unicorn tapestry, which is a thing that is considered, a symbol of purity to ward off evil. So no wonder the ghost kept knocking it down. Or if the ghost didn't knock it down, then perhaps the presence of the ghost causes it to fall down. It's one of those things. Anyway, mystical. And there's that feeling again. Like the mines, like the door to the clinic. A dusty, suffocating, dizzying feeling. Something is in this house. Though whether it's a ghost or something worse, you cannot know. Oscar.
Okay, it looks pretty normal for now. I don't remember that picture being on the floor, but that could be non-supernatural.
Actually, it occurs to me it probably is a print of the tapestry, the specific old tapestry that Puka mentioned, because it would make sense for Oscar to have something like that.
Oscar. Okay, looks pretty normal for now. I don't remember that picture being on the floor, but that could be non-supernatural.
Stella. None of my equipment is picking up anything around the picture. But I'll set up a camera in case it falls again. Could be important evidence.
Oscar. You might want to save your cameras for Rosalina's room. That's where I've seen the ghost manifest. I wonder if the ghost will even show with this many people around.
Gretchen. Oh dear, could someone please warm the air back up? My joints are creaking in this dreadful chill.
Oscar. Wait, is it just me or does it suddenly feel colder?
Stella. It sure does. I definitely feel that.
Avery. Same. I've got chills.
Kanika. The temperature gun says it's actually a couple of degrees colder, but that's normal. Rooms and hallways are sometimes colder than other parts of the house. Zane. Whoa, a genuine cold spot. I gotta snap a pic for posterity. Rosalina. Is that it? This isn't very scary. Boop, 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 boop. You remain silent. Kanika. Don't antagonize it. I mean, if it exists. And not that I'm questioning you, spirit that may or may not haunt this house. Zane. Good save. You've totally confused the ghost with mind games. Avery. Maybe we should antagonize it. Might be a good way to figure out how to bust it, you know? Stella. Not a bad idea. Oscar, why don't you take the lead? What's the best way to confront the apparition?
Oscar. Okay. Oscar takes a deep breath before continuing. Oscar. Let's head to Rosalina's room. Follow me.
And you know, this is why I love this game, because that particular interchange is actually new to me, despite the number of times I've played through this game. Like, I've literally gotten 100% of the achievements available for this game, which is a lot of playthroughs and specific stuff. And there's still new scenes, like new little moments that I haven't seen before. It's just so cool. It's such an elaborate story. Anyway, Stella.
Whoa.
Oscar.
This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain.
Gretchen. Do you mean this massive blood stain? It stinks to high heaven. Stella. Weird. I'm not getting anything. It's not even cold. It's the same temperature as the living room. Nothing on the EMF either.
Okay, I was just wondering. Gretchen is looking at it and probably sniffing it.
Oscar.
Then your equipment is wrong. The stain is definitely paranormal. I've scrubbed it out too many times to count it. It just keeps coming back.
Oh, sorry, my hot chocolate's a little too hot to, like, safely drink, but I keep wanting to.
Rosalina.
It's just a stain, Dad. Can't we just cover it back up? I don't mind sleeping here.
Avery. Maybe we have to scrub it out first. Could be that the paranormal stuff will activate if we give it a reason to.
Stella. Oh, good idea.
Oscar. If y'all are offering free carpet cleaning, be my guest.
Mystical. The stain is an attempt at expression. There are no words, no decipherable patterns, but you can still feel it. A cry for help from something that has lost its voice.
I feel like the bloodstained information is more useful, so between these options, I think he'll go with this one. Max.
Gretchen says it's a blood stain. Stella. Ghost blood. Kanika. Or it's just a rusty pipe leaking all over your floor. I think that would be a bigger problem than what Max and Stella are suggesting. Avery.
I don't know. Ghost blood sounds pretty intense.
Kanika. Have you all tried ripping up the carpet to see what's causing the stain?
Oscar. The government owns this house. There's no way I'm leaving a big red stain in their carpet. I made sure it was pristine every morning. Besides, I also kind of assumed it was ghost blood, which it is.
Stella. What if there's something written under there? Only one way to be sure. Stella excitedly starts tugging at the corner of the carpet. Gretchen. Are we digging? Let me help. This is my area of expertise, after all.
Oscar. Oh dear.
Kanika. You're doing the government a favor, really.
Avery. We'll cover for you. You don't have to sweat it.
Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch, the floor around it stained in reddish brown. Alexis. But what if there isn't a ghost after all? What if somebody lives down there?
Rosalina.
Okay, maybe I don't want to sleep in here. You remain silent in the face of this new discovery.
Avery.
Whoa, a hidden hatch. Stella. This is even better than finding a message.
Oscar. But there's no basement in this house. At least, we weren't told about a basement.
Stella. And look, all the red stuff is coming from underneath. Oh yeah, this is super haunted, alright. You've got a basement chock full of ghosts. I can just feel it. Avery.
Still no readings, though.
None of the equipment has made a sound. Kanika. Of course not. Y'all know last month was super rainy. It's clearly been a long time since anyone stepped foot in the basement or crawl space or whatever it is under that hatch. There must be a leak that flooded the whole area under the house. The water dissolved the caulk around the edge and leaked through to the carpet, and it's red because North Carolina has red-ass dirt. It's as simple as that.
Oscar. It's not mud, it's blood. Human blood. I tested it.
Kanika. Maybe you tested it wrong? It can't be blood, right?
Rosalina.
Whatever it is, I need to know what's down there. I need to know what's been under my bed all these years.
Stella.
Yeah, there's an old hatch in the floor that someone tried to seal up. We're not leaving until we've explored every nook and cranny.
Kanika.
Have you considered they may have tried sealing it up because it's unsafe?
Zane. Uh-oh. Do you think the flooding could have made the house unstable? I'm all in on ghost hunting, but I don't know if I could crawl into another dangerous crevice.
Stella. I'm going for it. You come to in Oscar's living room. You can't tell what time it is, and your friends are nowhere in sight. At least physically, this is Oscar's living room. Spiritually and mentally, you've been ripped away to some other place. The building feels colder, and there's something about the air that feels wrong. It's stale, with an undercurrent of mold and earth. You feel claustrophobic, as though you're in a coffin, each breath depleting what little oxygen is left. Yeah, no, I mean, that's verbal, and that's, calling somebody is also being verbal, and especially in a shocking and unfamiliar situation, Max is just gonna be like, nope, I'm just gonna go try to find people. It's kind of weird that, Max is like, it's kind of weird that I'm out here, but maybe everyone's still in Rosalina's room. Whatever just happened was weird, but your friends are probably still in Rosalina's room. You head further into the house. Something isn't right. It feels like a late summer afternoon. The air is warm and wet, and the scent of flowers drifts on the breeze. Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadows rises to attention. Her little dog. Bark, bark, woof, bark. The lover. Who are you? What are you doing on my property?
Yeah, alright, Max is just gonna go full channel.
The presence. Eddie, it's Charlie. The lover. Did you say Eddie? No one's called me that in a long time. It's Edwardine now. I'm not a child anymore.
Yeah, like, I'm sure Max is thinking, Stella, why do I think your name is the lover? But, like, he also clearly feels the presence that has the responses to these lines. And figures maybe he can find out more if he just channels the presence.
The presence. It has been a long time, hasn't it? I wasn't sure I was ever going to come back, but I'm glad I did. It's good to see you. The lover. I wish I could say the same. You should have stayed gone, and you absolutely shouldn't have showed up here of all places. If you're caught, I don't think you understand what Father might do. The presence. Come with me, Eddie. Haven't you always wanted to see the coast? Now's your chance. We can just leave. Her little dog. Arf, arf. The lover. I can't. It's not that easy for me. My brothers were sent to Normandy, and now I'm the only Scarlet left besides Father. I have responsibilities, Charlie.
Max does kind of want to know, but also suspects that the answer is a solid no, and so will continue to channel.
The presence. Screw your family. Screw my family. Why are we letting the choices made by our fathers destroy our lives too? The lover. You should just get out of town while you still can. Whatever you came back for, it's not worth it. The presence. You're right. What I came back for isn't worth it. But you are. I won't leave the holler without you. If you change your mind, I'll be around. She's gone, along with the shadow in the corner of the room. You're alone again in this strange garden. Follow her, I guess. You move to follow the narrow path through the foliage. As you step forward, a single door, standing solitary in the middle of the garden, appears before you.
Yeah. I'm sure Max wants to turn back, but I think he's just accepted, like, whatever is going on is something full, high-key mystical experience, and the only way out is through, so he's just gonna go through.
You walk up to the door and open it. Bells ring as a cacophony rages outside. The door in front of you pulsates as figures unseen bang against it. The shaded figure from the garden sits in the corner, ever so slightly more defined. The mother. Junior! Junior, pack up your things! Quickly, hurry! The mom.
Maybe we should run him out on a rail too. Make an example of the whole family.
The presence. Mama, what's going on?
Actually, I wasn't doing Charlie with a southern accent.
The mother. Please, he's only a child. We'll leave peacefully. Just give us a little time.
The mom. They were children too. My boy was in there. Why should I give Junior here all the time in the world to gather his little toys and fancy clothes? My boy didn't have that kind of luxury.
The presence. Mama, what's the man talking about? Why hasn't Daddy come home yet?
Oh, we can sure see Daddy out the window.
Mother. Don't listen to him, Charlie. Just keep packing.
The mom. Looks like the others are on their way. Better hurry, boy, or you and your little dolls here might get burned up. As for you, lady, what makes you think we're going to let you keep any of those valuables you're packing in that fine suitcase of yours?
The presence. Daddy said when he's not here, I'm the man of the house, so you don't get to push us around, mister. I'll call the police.
The mom. Trust me, boy, the coppers ain't coming here tonight. And what makes you think you can talk to an adult like that? Maybe they should have had you working in the mines instead. And you working in the mines too, instead of lazing around in this big house. Maybe you would have learned a thing or two about respecting your elders.
The mother. Don't talk to my son like that.
The mom. Don't talk to me like that, woman. I call the shots. Now get out unless you want to go up in flames with all your precious jewels and expensive dresses. You're lucky I'm even letting you leave. I do like that there was an option to address the shadow and be like, am I supposed to be you? But, like, Max is not the type to talk to begin with, and is gonna go ahead and just keep channeling.
The presence. But I don't want to go. I haven't packed all my puppets. I haven't said goodbye to Eddie. I don't want to leave.
The mother.
It's okay, Charlie. You can make new ones, even better than these.
The mom. It's good for him. Shouldn't be playing with dolls anyway. Now you're gonna have to earn your keep just like the rest of us, boy. No more big inheritance for you.
The mother and the mob are whisked away, leaving you behind in an empty room. As they depart, the front door stops pounding and opens into a beckoning white room. Before you have the chance to think, another door creaks open on what you thought was the ceiling. Wayne.
There you are. This is quite the maze, isn't it? And absolutely crawling with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders.
Yeah, no, between those two options, Max doesn't really like talking to anyone, much less terrifying, decaying, possible corpses.
You bolt for the door. You're outside, and it's night. A false moon looming massive in the painted sky. Wayne is gone. The night feels thick and warm. The insects lively, their calls unnaturally tinny. Everything feels warped and wrong, like you're listening to a record fished from the bottom of a pond. Unless your eyes are playing tricks on you, the shadow in the corner keeps getting closer. The witch. You poor dear. I've been keeping track of you, scuttling around town like a tomcat. You've fallen hard for Miss Edwardine, haven't you? Oh, shoot. I did the play along instead of the mystical. That was just totally accidental. The presence. Back off, lady. I don't know you, and if you know what's good for you, you don't know me either. The witch. There's no need to be embarrassed. Your secret is safe with me. No, I never did approve of what the Scarlets did to your family, and what it did to the two of you young'uns. Childhood sweethearts. Just think how lovely it would be if you could just be happy together. That's what you want, isn't it? The presence. Don't talk about my family, and I don't need life advice from some old broad. The witch. I'm sure by now you've realized the young lady doesn't plan on leaving with you, but it's not for lack of desire, as you well know. It's Enoch. Even if you dragged her over the town limits, his hold over her would make sure neither of you were ever happy again. Just think what happened to your poor mother and father. Do you want that to be the two of you? The presence. We would never be like them. We love each other. My mother just loved his money. As soon as it was gone, so was she. And then all he loved was booze. Me and Eddie aren't like that. The witch. The powers at work here are stronger than even your love could withstand. You need to break the bonds holding her here. Then you can both go free. No more misfortune. Not for you, not for anyone else bold enough to step foot outside the holler. The witch mimes handing you something, though her hand is empty. The witch. Everything you need to know is on that map. The presence. I don't understand. Is this a map? And some kind of poem? The witch. That's where you'll find them. You'll meet her there, and then read what I've written down. And be careful. Good luck to the both of you. I hope you get your happiness. And then she's gone. Wayne.
It's trying to get rid of me. It'll have to try harder.
Nope. Nope. You run into the uncanny underbrush before hearing another word. Once again, you find yourself separated and alone. A long wooden corridor stands before you, littered with bottles and rails. A figure rises to attention, blocking your way. The caretaker. I'm afraid he doesn't have long. If there's anything you need to say to him, I'd say it now. As the caretaker is swept away, the room pulls itself to you and you find yourself looming over a deathbed. The father lies in its center, looking pitifully small. The father. I'm sorry, boy. Sorry I let my troubles drive your mama away. And sorry those troubles mean I'm leaving you all alone now. The presence. You're getting what you deserve. The father. Damn it, Junior. How many times do I have to tell you? I tried to stop it from happening, but that damned snake Enoch went behind my back. The presence. Not for that. For what you did to our family. We could have just started over someplace new, but instead you became the son of a bitch the Scarlets made you out to be. The father. You're right. I've been using that excuse for too many years. At a certain point, a man has to accept when he's dug his own grave. They may have run me out, but they didn't put the bottle in my hand. Still. They destroyed our legacy, boy. Both our names are cursed with that history. I'll be dead and gone soon, but I won't be able to rest. Not until our name is cleared. Not until you can pass on this name with pride. This is my only request, Charlie. Go back there. Tell people the truth. Try to find proof. I don't know what you'll have to do, but please. I know I ain't been the best father. but I'm no murderer. The Presence. I'll see what I can do. Get some sleep. See you in the morning. The Father. Damn it, boy! I might not have till morning. Promise me. Promise you'll go back and at the very least show that Enoch bastard what for. The Presence. I promise I'll go back. You watch as the father's body seizes and falls through the sheets, taking the rattling pile of bottles with him. Wayne.
Such theatrics. What a waste of time. Why force you to see any of this? People always think their own experiences are so important, but what does any of it matter?
One second. I just need a tissue. Oh man, no. This is one of the, like, closest close-ups you get of where you can kind of see Wayne's face, and, like, oof. It does not imply a pretty picture. But, yeah, no. Bye! By the way, there's also an achievement for just running away from Wayne at every opportunity. You bolt for the hole in the bed and dive in. You find yourself pressed uncomfortably against a trellis. A small castle sits off to one side of the wall, and the bars of a prison loom over both all of it and all of you. The Entity. Climbing up the trellis again. How very Romeo and Juliet of you. No need to run off. I won't tell the old man. Though you've gotten sloppy, you should try to be more careful if you don't want him putting you in an early grave. Yeah, no, I'm sure Max is thinking to himself, what the hell is the Entity? But nah, he's gonna keep channeling. The Presence. Who are you? Are you one of Eddie's brothers? I thought they were dead. The Entity. No, not one of her brothers. I'm a prisoner. Another victim of the Scarlet's lies. Like you, Charles Shaw. The Presence. I'm not him. The Entity. A mere generation makes no difference. His blood runs in your veins, does it not? And now, it runs in hers. Yes, it seems your little trysts bore fruit. And oh, will you ever be in trouble when the old man finds out? The Presence. How do you know that? Who are you? The Entity. You know, you don't have to keep dangling there. Come inside. You'll be able to hear me through the door just fine. The world around you swirls, and you find yourself pulled to the other side of the wall. A door bound by countless locks and chains pulsates before you. The Presence. There's so many locks. I can't free you if that's what you're after. The Entity. That's not what I invited you in for. I couldn't escape even with your help. I merely wanted to offer a warning. Leave town now. The Presence. Absolutely not. I'm not leaving without her, especially if what you say is true. The Entity. You can't take her with you. It's not possible. You can always stay and die, but if I were you, I would use my healthy legs to run as far away from Scarlet Hollow as possible. And I still generally am trying to avoid spoilers, but like, that healthy legs comment, a lot of us have kind of cued in on it because there's definitely a thing with a character in Chapter 4 whose legs were crushed, and it's just very suspicious. The Entity. I hear the beaches are nice. Why don't you take a permanent vacation there? The Presence. You're wrong. I know it's possible. I have that weird map. I have the spell or whatever it is. Me and her are gonna get out of here. The Entity. Ah, you've been talking to the witch then. How very interesting. The Lover. Charlie, get away from the door. Don't listen to it. The Presence. Eddie, are you Pregnant? The lover. How does it know that? Wayne.
Interesting interpretation.
Which, in my opinion, is immediate confirmation that Wayne is the entity. Or at least possessed thereby. You ignore Wayne, continuing down the corridor after Stella and passing into the darkness. For the first time, you and Wayne enter a new room at the same time, the two of you finding yourselves huddled under a large table. The lover stares through you as indecipherable murmurs and shuffling feet echo from the ends of the table. Her first little dog. Yap, yap, yap! The lover. They're so lovely. Are you sure I can keep one? You must have worked very hard on them. The presents. Of course. It's a present. When you look at it, you can remember all the fun we've had. Wayne.
Just let the scene play out. There's no use trying to communicate, whether with the resonant or your little friends.
The lover.
I'll try to keep it away from my brother so he doesn't smash it. Though, I wish I could make it move like you can. And you can even do the voices. You know, you could probably make real money if you put on a show for people.
The presents.
That's the plan. I want to be a traveling performer. Why don't you come with me? We can go from town to town, putting on shows for other kids.
Wayne.
Please, don't engage with it while I try to find another door.
The lover.
A traveling show? And you'd want me there too? Oh, we could go to towns along the beach? I've heard the Outer Banks are the most beautiful place in the world.
The presents.
Of course! We can go anywhere you want.
The lover.
Thank you, Charlie. I've always wanted to see the ocean.
Everything crashes to a thunderous black before you or Wayne can get in another word. Not that Max has been trying. A single spotlight remains, illuminating a trapdoor in the center of the stage. You feel drawn to it. It opens. You feel a shove from behind and tumble through the hatch. And here's the vision. Content warning for person bashing another person's skull in with a bat. It's not too graphic because it's all old-timey like this, but there's some sounds that are unpleasant. Charlie. It took some digging, but it's there. The map was right. That means there's hope, Eddie. Whatever it is that Enoch did, we can undo it. We can be happy to get... Eddie? Ugh. Yeah, there it is. Wayne is gone once again. There's nothing here but you and the howling void. Stella. Do you repent? Kanika. Do you repent for your crimes? Mystical. For the first time tonight, you recognize the names of your companions. Does this mean that the resonant has grown weaker, or is this yet another part of its act? You let the spirit continue. Baxter isn't going to interject. He doesn't like talking in the best of circumstances, and this is the opposite of the best of circumstances. Oscar. You must answer for the crimes committed by your scarlet blood. Avery. Until you do, I cannot die. Rosalina. I want to die. Please. I have been alone in the dark for so long. Kanika. All I ask is for some of your years. Stella. To pay for the years that were taken from me. Alexis. My life was stolen from me. Avery. I want some of yours. Stella. It's only fair. Oscar. The sins of the father, Rosalina, are to be laid upon the children. Mika. Forfeit your years, and I will finally leave. Okay, there is one mystical thing here. So, Max is much more comfortable talking when it's mystical or talked animals, so... Max, you can't actually make me do anything, can you? Stella, I can keep you here. Kanika, and I can do whatever I want with them. Alexis, you can refuse. Rosalina, but if you do... Oscar, then I will stay. Avery, I will stay until I get what I'm owed. Kanika, the sentence has been handed down. Stella, make your choice. A smell hits you. That now familiar, wet, unwell odor. Wayne.
What an annoying pest you are, but you couldn't keep me out for long. It seems we've exhausted its power. Holding all these bodies hostage must have been quite taxing. Come along, Max. It's desperate, but it has no power over you. There's no need to bow to the will of such a frayed and broken consciousness. Leave it to fester.
Talking, blah. More talking, blah. I think Max is just very overwhelmed and is like, I don't know what's going on, but that sounds like a really bad idea. The sacrifice years of my life thing sounds like a really bad idea. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. Oh man, do I have to have Max verbalize some? Oh, you know what? I was just saying I'm just gonna go from Max's perspective. So, Max, let's just go. Wayne,
You don't need my help. Close your eyes. Feel for the stairs.
you close your eyes. You fumble in the darkness, reaching out your hands and grasping the air until your palm finds wood. It's the staircase. You can feel it under your hands. You begin your ascent. Wayne.
Good. You've made it out of the pit.
His overpowering smell returns as you place a confident foot on the wooden floor of what you assume must be Rosalina's room. You open your eyes as you try to hold your breath. You feel a hand on your back. You shudder knowing what it's attached to. Wayne.
Don't fall for it. Keep feeling your way forward.
Oh yeah, that's creepy. It's like, okay, cool. The strange, decaying man has a hand on my back. Okay. You continue. You feel the doorframe under your palm, and then the sturdy walls of the hallway beyond. Wayne's palm continues to gently urge you forward. You stumble into the corridor between the annex and the library. The real world is swimming back into focus. Wayne.
Good. The main doors are just ahead.
You feel a shove as Wayne pushes you forward. You fall towards the entrance, your legs still unsure of the ground beneath you, and the doors fly open. You're outside. It's real this time. A cool autumn breeze blows small piles of dried leaves across the steps of the library. Wayne.
You made the right choice. It would have been so easy to fall for its tricks. I'm proud that you didn't.
And Max is very creeped out right now, and she's like, I did not do this for you, buddy. Wayne.
Be seeing you.
He leaves before you can say anything in response. The I'm proud of you thing is just creepy. Kanika. Thank God you made it out, Max. I went to get my mom when I realized you hadn't left the library with the rest of us. I figured if anyone knew what to do, it'd be her. Sybil. You know what, actually, what's funny is I think this is the first time I've had it where Wayne is the one to guide the main character out of the space, because I think this is the very first time Sybil hasn't actually gotten there in time, even on the millions of runs I've done. Because there's just so many little things that can tilt it one way or another. Sybil. I see someone beat me to the punch. It sounds like you've had quite the evening. Avery. My bones weren't meant to bend like that. I'm gonna be hurting for a few days at least. Oscar.
Rosalina's pain meds are in there. I hope Dr. Kelly is still awake. We'll need replacements right away, especially after everything that just happened. And we'll have to figure out where we're going to stay. Oh god, this was such a disaster.
Alexis. You and Rosalina could always... Sorry, that's a Rosalina voice. Alexis. You and Rosalina could always stay with us, Mr. Gutierrez. Gutierrez? Yeah. Oscar.
That's a very kind offer, Alexis, but I'm afraid the stairs would be too much for Rosalina. And I wouldn't want to impose on your parents like that. It's a lot to ask. I can figure this out.
Oh my gosh, there's just... Okay, let me see if there's anything that, like, is mystical or anything that Max actually feels obligated to say. Nope. 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 Yeah, no, Max is just very, very, very overwhelmed and is just noping out of talking right now. Kanika. Are you sure you can't take up Alexis's offer? Oscar sighs. Oscar.
You're right, you're right.
Zane. I'm gonna peace out. Back-to-back encounters with my own mortality. I've got a lot to ponder. See ya, Rosalina. See ya, Alexis. Zane walks off down the road. Avery. To think that ghosts are actually real. Stella's gotta be over the moon right now. Kanika. Actually, wait. Where is Stella? Oh, she's just standing there. By herself. That isn't like her. Avery. Hey, Stella, you good? Stella. What? Oh. Yeah, I'm fine. I'll see you guys later. She hurries off down the road. Yeah, no, Max is just not... Max is probably borderline nonverbal right now. You remain silent. Kanika. Should we go after her? Sybil. I think she just needs some time to herself. Stella's never been the kind to share her burdens, and I doubt that will change just because somebody goes chasing after her. If anything, it would just make her clam up even more. She's a strong girl. She'll be okay. I'm honestly surprised that she and Zane are the only ones heading out right now. You've all been through something awful, and each and every one of you needs rest. Especially you, Kanika. We don't want that cold of yours to get any worse. Oscar.
God, what a disaster this whole night has been. I had no idea it would turn out like this. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Rosalina. Stop apologizing, Dad. We're the ones who don't have a house anymore. We don't even have the library. Nope, nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Oh my gosh. Does Max actually have to verbalize? Max. I guess I should probably head back. Oscar.
We should probably get going too. It's starting to get chilly out, and I don't want to keep Alexis's parents up too late.
Sybil. I'll be over later tonight with some bedding and hot tea, and I'll have Miles bring you groceries in the morning. Don't be a stranger and let us know if you need anything, okay? I believe it's time for me to get my daughter home as well. Kanika. But... Sybil. Kanika, dear, you haven't been feeling well. You need to get some rest. Kanika. Okay. Kanika wearily treks back to the general store. Sybil. I'll be back in a moment to walk you home, dear. I just need to put tea on and give your cousin a quick call. Sybil leaves you and catches up to her daughter. I'm definitely like, do you really have to give my cousin a call? Like, is that really necessary? Kanika. My whole body hurts. Mom, what was that? And I want a better answer than a ghost. Sybil. We'll be all right. Let me get you some of that special tea. It's been working well, don't you think? Kanika. I think ibuprofen would be better, but I gotta admit, the tea has been nice. Sybil. I'll put the kettle on as soon as we get home. Avery. I guess it's just the two of us now. Yes, okay. We have previously established that Avery is the only person Max is comfortable actually verbalizing to, so... I must admit, it wasn't my original intent to play this as, like, sort of a... I was more meaning for Max to have like, severe anxiety than I was neurodivergent, but, like, the fact that, truth be told, I know what it is like to go nonverbal, and so whenever I am like, okay, he's staying silent, especially in stressful situations, I can't help but be like, yeah, that's kind of a classic situation where a person will sometimes go nonverbal. And so if we assume that a little bit, then I will also say that being around fewer people and perhaps only one person that one is more comfortable with, sometimes it is a little easier to verbalize. So that is what I'm going to decide, that Max was kind of so overwhelmed and with all the people here and probably feeling guilty and some other stuff, like, he was just, like, not up for verbalizing. But now that it's just him and Avery, he's like, okay. Let's see. Max, what do you remember? Avery. As far as I know, all of it. I might start forgetting soon, but for now, it's all fresh. The twisting wasn't the most pleasant, but even though I feel like I've gotten tossed in a blender, it honestly made me feel so alive. Max, so you don't regret coming along tonight? Avery. Look, that was a horrible experience that will stick with me for the rest of my days. And we failed to get rid of the ghost. But failure has a way of bringing people together, and hey, I got genuinely possessed back there. How many people can say they were possessed by a ghost? Max. I guess I'll see you around. Avery. Yeah, I should probably get going. I'm supposed to have a shift tomorrow morning. I might have to call in sick, but here's hoping a good night's sleep is enough to heal up. Avery heads off, leaving the square in front of the library empty. I'm sure there's a strong degree to which Max sincerely considered just walking home alone, but then was like, maybe doing so entirely by himself was a little nerve-wracking, and having, like, another person to walk with would not be the worst thing in the world. Sybil returns not long after Avery leaves. It's time to go back to the estate. You know, I actually just realized Max has never walked back to the estate at night because he stayed with Stella the first night, and then he was driven back by Tabitha the second night. And so now it's like, so yeah, no, it's totally legit for him to be like, you know, especially thinking of our little ditchling buddies, and just be like, maybe not walk back to the estate alone at night. Sounds nice. Sybil returns not long after Avery leaves. It's time to go back to the estate. Sybil. Your cousin wasn't exactly thrilled to hear about what happened tonight, but I think I blunted her anger as much as I could. Shall we? You know, I will say, like, Sybil, you didn't have to tell on the main character. Just rude. You don't have to tell on us, but apparently, yes, you do. I mean, I guess it works because that's the only way for Tabitha to know what happened to you, so it kind of makes sense from a writer's perspective, but still. The night feels cold, the crunch of leaves beneath your feet deafening in the quiet wilderness. Sybil. Let's stop here a bit. These old bones need a moment to rest. And, like, I recognize that this is meant to give you a chance to ask her questions, but... yeah, okay, fine. Max will just be like, are you a witch? She laughs, surprised by your question. Sybil. I suppose some people might call me one, but I'm just an old woman who fancies herself a bit of a healer. Max. Yes, there's a mystical option. What you call yourself isn't important. You're more powerful than you let on. Sybil. Well, I do drink plenty of tea. I'm so sorry, Max. I completely forgot to send you home with some tonight. Yeah, okay, maybe one more question. Max. Sybil, what is Wayne? Sybil. He's just a man. Max. Mystical option. Max. We both know there's more to him than that. The smile briefly fades from her face. Sybil. It's not exactly polite to share people's medical history. I may not have taken a Hippocratic oath, but I still respect the privacy of others. That doesn't mean you should trust him, though. Be careful with that one. That is interesting, though. Like, so she's not willing to talk about what is wrong with Wayne. She tries to insist he's just a person. She refers to it as a medical history thing. And I'm just like... Isn't the medical history here just his body is decaying from possibly the inside out, and also he is possibly possessed by an entity? I guess Sybil doesn't want to tell us about the entity? Alright. Max, are you ready to get moving again? Sybil. I am. The estate shouldn't be much further. You and Sybil trek through the remainder of the woods and find yourself on the outskirts of the estate. Sybil. Max, why don't you swing by the tea room tomorrow? Say, early afternoon? I'd love to chat for a little while. Come by any time. I'll be there all day. You know, it's funny, because I will say with Sybil, what I meant to do was to go with a little old lady voice, but what has ended up happening is this weird posh British thing, which doesn't make sense for Sybil's character even a little. So please bear with me and pretend that it's a little old lady voice with me. I'd appreciate it. Sybil. Good luck handling Tabitha. I tried to soften her up over the phone, but there's only so much softening you can do with someone that prickly. Bless her heart. Get a good night's rest, Max. You've earned it. Sybil heads back through the woods, leaving you alone to face Tabitha. You open the door to the estate as quietly as you can, only to find your cousin anxiously pacing in the foyer. She's been waiting for you. Tabitha. I see you finally decided to drag your sorry ass back here. I don't even know what to say. I told you so many times to stay out of trouble, to keep me posted about where you are, to come home in a timely manner. What's the point of saying it all again? Clearly you just don't care how your actions affect me, and I don't know how to make you care. Yeah, no, Max is probably starting to finally regret his actions from this morning of just blowing her off and wandering off. Like, so I am thinking at this point he is actually starting to feel guilty about it, and therefore that will probably influence decisions I make in Chapter 4. But that said, he really doesn't have anything to say in his own defense, so... You stand there in total silence. Tabitha. You know what? This isn't worth my time or energy. Good night. Your cousin walks off, leaving you alone. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. It's Wednesday night. Nearly half a week has passed since you first arrived in town, and a little over half a week remains until the bus comes to take you home. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. now commands the entirety of City Hall, a swirling void of wrath and despair that the people of this town will have to learn to ignore. Disaster looms its tallest yet over Scarlet Hollow. Yeah, things are not in the best place right now for Max. And man, this might be the, worst relationship I have ever had with Tabitha. Which is, not intentional? Anyway, sorry, I'm just... I feel bad about it. My intent was not to have Max and Tabby be like ultimate enemies. Oh well. So that was chapter 3 with Silent Max. Much faster than I would normally get through chapter 3 on account of... Oh, Johnny, I actually don't know. I've never tried to watch it with, like, there is some red-blue, so I've never tried to watch it with 3D glasses, but it well might be. But yeah, so that's the end of chapter 3. Actually, Johnny, if you're still here, are you going to be streaming tonight? Since it's Sunday. Yes, it is Sunday. Out of curiosity, before I head off. But once I hear back, that will be the end of the stream. I'm not gonna totally promise, but I will probably try to stream the last chapter either next week or the week after. Well, no, not the week after. Oh, fair enough, Johnny. Well, if you do stream tonight, I am also around, so let me know if you want a guest star. And yeah, so other than that, I will finish. I actually might just do the last chapter of this next Saturday, because I think that would work better for my schedule. So I will put up something in the Discord, and other than that, this week should be my pretty normal schedule. So Cinderella Phenomenon on Monday. It's now going to be Earthbound Beginnings on Friday afternoon, and then hopefully Friday evening will be some kind of group stream. So thank you Johnny for hanging out, and thank you anyone else who's been lurking, and thank you anyone watching this later. I appreciate you all very much, as always, and I will see you later.